Hello, everybody, and welcome to the pilot episode of the A Hole Audit. I am the co-host known as Uncle Jerk, and we also have the other co-host who is
Judge Jessie.
Just like that. Now, this is the A Hole Audit, and we're going to take stories from Reddit that are specifically about Am I the Asshole? We're going to read them. We're going to audit them. That's what the name's about. And we're going to tell you, one, if we think that the story is fake, because there is a lot of BS over on Reddit. And if it's true, then we're going to try and offer advice, some guidance, our perspective, and maybe even have some arguments there because we disagree on certain things as we're reading through these stories. So no doubt it's going to be very interesting. There's going to be lots of drama. There's going to be lots of controversy. And this is, as I said, our pilot episode number 1. Might not go live, might just be sent to the cutting room floor, as they say in the industry. But we're going to do our best, and I hope you enjoy the podcast. Make sure you follow us over on Reddit, because we do have our own subreddit now. Just search for the A Hole Audit, and you will find us. We want to hear your stories. We want to hear your perspective. So if you do have anything to say about any of this, do follow us. You say some stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go through the first story, man. What we got? I haven't read any of these stories. I haven't looked. I'm trying to, I like to hold myself in suspense. We're going to have Judge Jessie over here tell us what's going on with these A Hole Audit stories that we have. And then I'm going to be like, oh my God, that's shocking. And then offer some perspective. So let's get to the first one. Do we have something cool to talk about here?
We do. For our first story, I've got... Am I the asshole for kicking my dad out of my house for having sex in my living room and in my bed?
What did he have sex with? We're going to find that out in the story?
Yes.
Let's listen to the story first. I'll try and be quiet. Let's go.
Ready? Okay, so my dad came to stay with me, 23-year-old female, for a bit last week. He was supposed to stay for 6 days, but on the third day, I came home to find him in the middle of sex with a woman on my couch in my living room. The door was wide open and they were loud. Dad was all over the place when he realized I caught them, and he told me he hadn't expected me home. I asked him how that was any better. He told me I was meant to be at work until 5 and it was only 2. I'd cut my hours back for the days he was there that I was supposed to make up over the next 2 weeks. I told him that. I'd been home early the 2 days he'd been staying with me already. The woman he was with told me she left her bra in my bedroom and asked if she could get it.
What?
Gotta admit, that one got me worse, and I kicked the two of them out and told him to go home. His woman tried to shame me for reacting like this, and I told her to shut up, get her bra, and leave my house.
Get your goddamn bra, you hussy, and get the fuck out of my house. That's how it went. Unfiltered version. Let's go.
Dad wanted to stay, and I told him not after this. He told me he was allowed to have a relationship and that my mom's been gone 7 years. I told him it did not mean he needed to have sex in my living room and in my bed. I told him that was disgusting, and I even said, I need a new bed. He told me to grow up. It's not like he made me watch. I almost pushed him out the door, and it took me days to calm down. He called a few times, but I couldn't talk to him. When I finally did, he told me I'd overreacted, and if I could have sex in his house, he should be given the same privilege. I told him having sex in the bed he slept in behind closed doors was one thing. I told him it was about respecting me and my space, and it was gross to expect me to sleep in the bed he'd screwed that woman in. He told me he loved that woman and I'd made a bad first impression. I told him I didn't care. He told me a couple of days ago I hurt his feelings by kicking him out instead of speaking to him like an adult, that he would hope I'd calm down enough because he wants to introduce me and this woman officially in the future, and we would need to reconcile before then, but he's not going to accept being treated like shit for living his life. Am I the asshole?
Ooh, I don't know.
Steamy.
I mean, let's hope he wasn't doing her in the household. You know what I'm saying? Can I say things like that? I'm allowed to say things like that? It's our podcast. We say what we like, right? But fuck, I mean, that's bad. That's bad. I mean, I remember when I was young, and my friend Aaron, who went back to his dad's flat one time, and his dad wasn't in, but Aaron was like, he's been shagging in here. Because you could just tell by the pungency of the air that something physical had been going on, And imagine walking into the room there and your dad's just smashing this chick and the air is pungent with the aroma of bodily fluids. No, thank you. No, thank you very much. I mean, I'm sure that she could have reacted differently. She didn't have to kick him out of the house, but it's going to be embarrassing for her. Imagine the embarrassment of just... I mean, knowing your parents or one of your parents is having sex
Yeah,
is
yeah.
embarrassing enough. But to be like, oh, I walked in there and see my dad's ass crack as he's smashing this bitch on my
I
sofa,
think that's
and
the
then
thing.
to find out the bras in the bedroom. So this is
Yeah.
where else in the house have they been?
She's 23. She knows adults have sex, but I mean, in her house,
Yeah.
in her living room, in
Mm-hmm.
her bed.
Mm-hmm. He's only staying for 6 days. It's not like he couldn't hold it in. You know what I mean?
Should we read some comments? See what they're saying?
No, fuck the comments. I don't care about their opinion.
You don't care?
I do really. I'm just playing character, the upper jerk thing.
All right. They're saying not the asshole, and you made a bad impression.
Question mark, question mark.
I'd be telling dad that he and his woman made the bad impression. You've been clear that the issue isn't that he's living his life, but that he's disrespecting your space. He was over the top inappropriate, and I'd be making darn sure that introductions didn't happen until A, he gave you a proper apology,
And he washed
B,
his hands. Fuck.
He got you a new mattress. Ooh.
I don't know about the whole new mattress thing. I mean, you can understand why she's grossed out like that, but that's a bit excessive. You need to get me a new mattress. You know what he was just shagging on the living room floor there. Does he need to get you a new carpet? I don't know. Is that the same kind of thing? I mean, turn the mattress over. Maybe put it in the back garden and air it out for the day. Might feel a little bit better after it's been sun bleached. But Jesus, new mattress.
For real. If he wants introductions, you can start by introducing basic hygiene and respect. One guy says, yeah.
So do we think the story's true for starters? I think it's true. I think this kind of thing does happen.
Yeah.
You know, people are freaky. But man, I don't know. I mean, imagine how embarrassed the dad is. Would he even be embarrassed? Some people don't get embarrassed.
He's embarrassed. No, I don't. He's blaming her for overreacting. Just like
I don't think she's overreacting really, and kicking him out was probably the right thing to do. I mean, not kicking him out physically, not actually stick a foot up his ass. Maybe he's into that, but you don't actually kick him out. But you should definitely have the discussion with him to make sure that he knows that he crossed the line there. Yeah. He shouldn't be doing that in the house. It's just invading somebody's space.
And what first impression is the other woman giving when she's got her bra in the daughter's bedroom?
They haven't met.
It's in the living room. It's like all over her house while she's not there.
So you haven't met my daughter, but come round her house and we can fuck in her bed. It's I don't know, man. I don't think the woman's the asshole in this case. Obviously, we don't know all of the facts for this story. Bits are going to be left out. Bits are going to be embellished. That's what tends to happen. There's three sides to every story: the truth, and then her truth and his truth.
For sure.
So I don't know. I would say from what we gather so far here, yeah, she's not the asshole, man. But don't be falling out with your dad about it. It's going to be awkward for a while, but make sure you have the discussion and discuss it with him and her to try and resolve the situation. But make them understand that that's just freaky shit. And what he mentioned there as well, there was a mention in the story about, if you can have sex in my house, I can have sex in yours. That's just petty behavior from the dad there, in my opinion. Yeah. Maybe she was a teenage girl and she's bringing boys around and things like that. But that's what teenagers do. I don't think you can hold her responsible for that and try and use that as a get out of jail free card so you can fuck some random bitch in her bed. That's not cool. So your dad's being the asshole here, and the chick who he was with, she was taking it in the asshole. Let's go. Should do another story.
Asshole as well. Okie dokie. Story 2. This one made me chuckle. Am I the asshole for making a dairy-free cake with eggs?
What? This is going to be intriguing. Let's go.
So, my friend invited me over for dinner. Our tradition is to bring food when invited for dinner. I asked if I should bring a dessert. She said that would be great, but it needs to be dairy-free because her daughter stopped eating dairy. I know a great cake recipe with no dairy. I brought it to the dinner and it was a big hit. My friend asked for the recipe and I told her. When I got to the eggs, her daughter became upset and ran upstairs. My friend asked why I put eggs in the cake. I said the eggs were responsible for the spongy texture.
Oh.
She said the cake wasn't dairy-free. I said it was.
Oh my God.
There is no milk or milk products in the cake, no cheese, no butter, etc. My friend said eggs are dairy. Wow. I was confused. Dairy is milk and milk products, to my understanding. She said dairy is anything that comes from an animal. I asked if honey is dairy then. God. She said no, because bees are insects. I apologized, but I could tell she was still upset. Am I the asshole? I've never heard of eggs being dairy before.
Well, there's this old saying which goes, you can tell a lot by a person by the company they keep. and you are friends with fucking idiots. All right. I don't mean to call you an idiot or anything, but we all know that eggs are not dairy. Dairy comes from a cow, right? Or I suppose goats too, milk, things with lactose in. That's what's going to be dairy, right? Anything with lactose, that kind of makes sense. Yep. And I assume that this teenage girl, by the sound of it, running off crying, "I hate some milk," ran off. I assume she's like lactose intolerant or something, and that's why she doesn't want to have any dairy.
She just gave up dairy.
She just gave up because she saw it on TikTok somewhere one day.
Stopped eating dairy.
Stopped eating dairy for no reason. Well, that's your problem, love. And this woman, she even went out of her way to make sure that she didn't put any dairy in there.
Butter.
She wasn't to know that her friends are idiots and don't know what dairy means. It's not her fault. You know what I mean? Eggs are not dairy. Milk does not come from chickens.
Eggs are not dairy. If she wanted vegan, she needed to say vegan because that's not the same as dairy free.
You know what I mean? As if they didn't even appreciate, they obviously wasn't English, because if they were English like us, you would have just eaten the cake and then complained when she left, like good English people, or Canadian, Oh. But yeah, it's I don't know, man. You are definitely not the asshole. It's not your fault. Your friends don't know, and both of them as well, the daughter and the mom. It's like, oh my gosh, what a shame.
Still upset.
Yeah. Still upset. You need to phone her. You know what you should do? Go and egg their house.
Oh.
No, just egg the fucking windows. Be like, bitch, get some milk.
Don't egg their house.
Yeah,
we
don't do that.
Condone
it's
that.
just a joke. Everybody calm down. Calm down. That's not the advice we're offering here. But eggs are not dairy, or maybe they are. I'm not a chef. The only thing I really do with food is eat it. But I would assume that eggs are not dairy. Dairy is something that has lactose in it and comes from a mammal. And chickens are not mammals.
Milk and milk products.
Yeah. So you know what you do next time, right? You say, "Oh, I'm sorry. Let me try again. I'm going to make a cake and I'm going to make sure there's no dairy in it. I'll try again. I apologize." You know what you do? You make a normal fucking cake. You make a fucking cheesecake. You make a cheesecake, right? You take it around there. You be like, "Yeah, it's not dairy. It's got no eggs in it. It's not dairy. I made cheesecake." And they'll be like, "Oh, delicious. That was the best non-dairy cake I've ever eaten." And then be like, "Ha! Ha!" And then the girl's going to run off crying to the fucking bathroom because she got shits because she's lactose intolerant. Pow! You win.
Winner, winner.
Winner, winner. Chicken dinner, dairy-free. Let's go. You got another one?
Okay, let's move on. This one's a bit more... Ooh. Am
I
the asshole for refusing to share my half of my dad's ashes with my half siblings?
What do you mean? You're half?
You will find out in the story.
Oh gosh, I keep jumping the gun here and interrupting the title. It's like I see the title and it's like, oh my god. Oh, sorry, let's go. Let's read this. Let's go.
My dad died recently.
Oh, that's why they have ashes. Oh.
Really?
Well, it's fucking obvious, really, isn't it?
I wonder if they buried or cremated him.
You know what I mean? My dad's still alive. My dad's still half alive. We just took his legs and cremated those, and then my half of his ashes. What? Thanks for just redundant words in the sentence. We're on time limit here. Come on.
My dad died recently, and he appointed his brother, my uncle, to ensure his final wishes were respected. Dad was married twice, once to my mum, who died when I was 3, and then with his widow, who he married when I was 15. Dad's second wife and I never got along, and the arrival of their children did nothing to change that. Dad and I had a solid relationship, but she and I did not, and I never really had one with the other kids either. His wishes were for half of his ashes to go to his wife so she could start a grave for them, and the other half was for me so he could also be with my mum. My mum was cremated too, and I have her ashes as well.
Jesus.
Wife number 2 was not happy about those wishes, and she tried to keep them all, but my dad had planned everything and had legally ensured his wishes were followed with the help of my uncle. I went no contact once the funeral was over. Only she does not get the no contact part and has contacted me at least 11 times now saying I need to share my half of the ashes with my half siblings because they have none and we each have half. I blocked her after the first message, but every time she texts, it's from a different number and I don't even need to ask if it's her because nobody else would text randomly about ashes like that. I'm trying to get my number changed, but I use this phone for work too, so I need a process of approval to do it. My aunt, dad's sister, suggested we combine dad's ashes and split them 4 ways so everyone gets the same amount. And when I said no, she told me that I shouldn't take my hatred of wife number 2 out on the kids more than I have. She said that because I went no contact and have no intention of having a relationship with them, which my aunt disagrees with. Am I the asshole?
Do you want to go first on this? I mean, I'll go first, but I'm going first on all of them so far, and I don't want to just get stuck
well,
in on
I've read
this.
all of them all so far, so you carry on. You're good.
Well, I'm thinking, yeah, you being an asshole here, I can completely understand why. Don't get me wrong. When people die, especially family members, it gets the emotions up, and people get upset. But realistically, having half the ashes, all the ashes, a quarter of the ashes, it's not going to bring your dad back. The important thing is the memory of him and just trying to keep everybody happy. These people have feelings too. This person was important to them too. But so they want to have a little something.
But their mom has half also.
Yeah, so yeah, I see what you mean. Maybe they should take
so why doesn't she share her half?
Yeah, but
if his dad wanted, if their dad, sorry, I don't know.
Well, he's saying half siblings, so yeah, it's probably
if their dad requested that half goes to be with the mom who's already passed. It's not like they divorced or it was bad. You know, he wanted half of his ashes to be with his first dead wife.
So maybe the thing that we should do is all get together. I mean, having this whole no contact thing is just ridiculous. The only thing you're going to resolve, the only way you're going to resolve these issues is by having communication with each other. So you need to talk about this and try and come to some kind of conclusion.
I think you can feel how pushy the second wife is through.
You can't tell anything.
You can look. He's opted for no contact. She's contacted 11 times off different numbers.
But what you're hearing here
trying to force
is this woman's perspective. So it's going to be altered to be in her favor. She's going to make herself seem like she's the one in the right, and everybody else, they're just bothering me. They're calling me 11 times. It's like, come on, man. It's you got to try and look on both sides of the story here. Now, they should have come to some sort of conclusion. There's more important people in this life than these two women, right? Because the ashes have been divided up in between these two people. But he's got other kids. It should have, all of these important people should have been taken into consideration, and the ashes should have been divided equally if that's what they wanted. But realistically, in my opinion, to stop all of this in the first place is all of the ashes should have been put in a particular location so people can go and visit those places. And that's the same with your mother's ashes as well. What are you still holding on to those for? I know that's weird, man. I think that's weird. But each to their own, you know, people want to keep the jar of their mother's ashes.
This was the dad's wishes, and the dad's wishes have been carried out, regardless of what the alive people want. Dad wanted half to go to this child and half to go to his wife.
Well,
and
that's what the man wanted.
Carried out.
That's the argument.
And now the alive wife is trying to force him to share I don't even know if it's male or female, trying to share their ashes with her children when she has half as it is.
It's a tough one, isn't it? It's a tough one. I can see why this woman's posted on Reddit about this. But yeah, I mean, you've heard my perspective there, but add in that bit where if this was your dad's wishes, it'd be written down. Like, half goes to my daughter.
His wishes were for half to go to his wife so she could start a grave for them, and the other half was for me so he could also be with my mom.
Well, there you go then. There you go. That
was his wishes.
I mean, might come across as the asshole, but
you're not the asshole. Everything.
Yeah, and that legally insured wishes were followed with the help of my uncle. There you go, man. There you go. You're not being the asshole. You just holding up what your dad's last wishes were, and that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
So, definitely. But trying at the same time, you should be trying to keep a relationship with these people if possible. I know people can be dickheads, especially after the loss of a family member, and things can get awkward. But still.
One thing you have in common is the love for your dad.
And what would your dad want? Your dad wouldn't want you to have problems with these people. He would want you to try and keep some kind of relationship. So try that. Try it. And I know things are difficult after the death of a family member, and emotions are high. But damn.
Let's have a look at some comments. Not the asshole. Am I understanding correctly that you got 50% of the ashes and the second wife got 50% of the ashes? If so, she can share her portion of the ashes with their children. It's not all your responsibility to give any portion of your ashes. And the OP says, you understand correctly and you share my thoughts. It makes more sense that way, seeing as they're her kids and she wants them to have their own share.
Yep.
She's very, very true.
Yeah. It's not like she has none, is she? She's got half. And how much is half? Anyway, is that like a kilo of ash? 2 kilos? I don't even know, man. Kind of weird.
Somebody said here, just state the ashes are mixed with mom's. Something you'd say, Uncle Jack.
I snorted that shit. And she's gone. Well, you got to look on the bright side. At least she ain't gonna catch your dad smashing some woman on the sofa. You know what I'm saying? Jesus. Yeah. What do you all think, everybody? Let us know in the Reddit. We're going to post this story up on our Reddit over there, over on r/the A Hole Audit. And let us know what you think about this one. This is a weird one. I don't know what to think about this one. So there's no definite conclusion for me. Let's see if you can help us come to a conclusion here by sharing your thoughts. Let us know.
Let's move on.
Let's go.
Okay. This guy's deleted since posting.
What?
I don't think they liked the answers. Let's have a look. Am I the asshole for telling my husband he's being unfair by calling me a part-time parent?
Can we just say, right, if it's been deleted, it's probably the guys realized, fuck, I'm being the asshole. Delete.
Okay.
Control, Alt, delete. Let's go.
My husband, 37-year-old male, and I, 35-year-old female, have a 2-year-old son. I run a business that has taken off in the last few years, and I work pretty long hours, usually 10 to 12-hour days, sometimes more if I'm traveling or taking calls after hours.
So she's on OnlyFans.
My husband works from home. Maybe he's on OnlyFans.
Foot pictures.
My husband works from home and agreed early on to take the lead on childcare since my job is more demanding time-wise and his is more flexible. We also have a full-time nanny during the week to help during the day, but my husband handles mornings, evenings, and weekends with our son.
Jesus. Sounds like they're both part-time parents. You got a fucking nanny?
I usually see our son in the mornings and do a bedtime a couple of weeks, depending on my schedule. I know it's not a ton of time, but I really try to be present when I am with him. And I'm the one providing financially for everything, our house, childcare, insurance, savings, etc. The other night, my husband told me he feels like a single parent who happens to be married. He said he's exhausted, feels like he's doing everything alone, and even commented that our son doesn't really react when I come home anymore. That really hurt. I told him I'm doing the best I can and that this setup was something we agreed on together. I'm not out partying or ignoring him. I'm just working a lot so we can afford the life we have. He said that being physically gone this much is basically the same as not parenting at all, and that if I want a real relationship with our son, I need to step up now and not someday when the company slows down. I told him I thought it was unfair to act like I'm not pulling my weight just because I'm not the one doing daycare drop-off or managing tantrums. I contribute in a different way, and I'm exhausted too. He said that's just money, and it's not the same as being a parent. Am I the asshole?
Ooh, well, yeah, I think you're the asshole. You know why I think you're the asshole? Because this is the problem between you and your husband, and he has like expressed that he's unhappy about a specific thing, and you run to the fucking internet to ask for advice. Jesus, woman.
That's what the internet's here for.
Yeah, it's here for a lot of things, but I don't know. Just to fucking run to the internet and be like, back me up here, back me up. Now you have to understand that this is going to sound really sexist, so I apologize in advance for that. But this is generally the role of what the man does. The man goes out, does all the work, doesn't do any of the fucking daycare shit, because he's out working all the time. And the roles are reversed in this situation. And yeah, it's difficult for both sides in either way. If the woman's working a lot or the man's working a lot, it's difficult, but you're both pulling your weight to raise the family and you have to do your shit. I mean, I don't think she's being the asshole for going out there and working too hard. We don't know the ins and outs of it. Is she out for 16 hours a day, 7 days a week? So she barely gets to see the kid. Usually 10 to 12 hours a day. Yeah, is that every day? It's a bit much. It's easy to get stuck in, especially when you're starting up a company. It's easy to just get stuck in and do too much work and not take family into consideration because you think in the long term that you're doing what's best for them. But sometimes what's best for them is for you to be there and to be present, so you have to take that into consideration too. And if your husband has expressed things are getting a little bit too difficult for him, then maybe you need to dial back the work hours a little bit and concentrate on the most important thing in your life, which is your family and not your career. That's my opinion.
Okay, top comment is,
what do you think?
Your husband is telling you that he's struggling. I get that you feel attacked, but if you want your marriage to be solid, you have to look beyond that defensiveness and approach this as both of you versus the problem. This will be a lot of conversations and a lot of problem solving, but listening is the first step. That's
right. And that was from The Matic Turkey. Yeah, great name. But it's not really a great name. I'm just saying that sarcastically. I don't know if you picked that up in the tone, but a good comment. It's very true. This is part of being married. If you have issues, then you have to communicate, express your concerns, and then try and figure out some kind of resolution to it.
We got No Fly saying, not the asshole for his comment, but he's telling you something, and Reddit siding with you on a point is going to lead you to a damn divorce.
Woohoo! Yes.
Your husband is tired of doing everything. You said it yourself. You're barely home. While that's not your fault to be able to afford your life, you need to pull back. If that means your life has to scale back, so be it. You see them at bedtime a few nights a week. So most nights you don't see your child at all. You have a nanny. You can definitely afford to scale back. He's begging you. Before long, he'll leave you. Then the previous business will really suffer. Or take it from a kid who never had their parent for this reason. You won't really have a kid. They will end up disappointed and distant. You didn't make time to be present with them as a kid. They won't do it as an adult. The money and hard work doesn't matter to a kid. Showing up and being there matters.
That's right. Remember that old saying, presence in
place of presence.
That's the one. That's the one. See that? We finish each other's sentences. See that? That's right. Wow. Yeah, man. It's a
difficult one.
Yeah. But it's like there's a problem with addiction in society. Many people speak about it a lot, addiction to alcohol, addiction to drugs, addiction to pornography. There's lots of addictions out there, but when it becomes a work addiction, people don't frown upon it as much, but it's a real thing.
Yeah.
And this sounds like that's the case for the woman here. She has become addicted to the struggle, to the grind, and it's easy to do because it's not having a detrimental effect on your body in the same way drugs do or alcohol does. But you also need to realize that that is an addiction too, and it can become unhealthy. You need to set certain work hours, work those work hours, and when those work hours are done, you don't work. It takes a little bit of self-discipline, but you'll be better off for it. The most important thing is your family, so take a step back from the work, still work every day.
If you're
doing make it 8 hours a day
for your family,
yeah,
you must make time for them as well.
That's right. Get rid of the nanny, and then you can reduce your work down to fucking 8 hours a day instead of 10 to 12. You don't have to pay the nanny. You know what I mean? Because it won't be long. It's stereotypical, and but them stereotypes there for a reason. Your husband's going to be banging the nanny before long. All right. So get rid of her and spend more time with your fella. Just saying. That's my opinion. Uncle Jeff, by the way, don't forget, I'm allowed to say things like this because it's my character. Let's go. Okay. It's an interesting one, right?
Yeah, very. Okay. Moving on to our last story for today.
This is the last one?
Yeah.
I've had so much fun.
Oh, good. This one. I'll read it first. I don't know.
I won't kick off on the title. Let's go.
Am I the asshole for refusing to comply by my ex-wife's husband's rules about what my kids can eat so they can go to their mom's house?
What the fuck? Is this that one with the dairy thing again?
No, right. It's a little similar, but no. Okay, so my ex-wife and I, both in our 30s, divorced 7 years ago. We have two boys together.
Some effort in there, didn't you? In your 30s, 7 years ago. Okay, now.
We have two boys together, aged 8 and 9. My ex-wife remarried.
Let's just do some quick maths here. Two boys together, 8 and 9, probably married so 8 and 9, 7 years ago. So they were like early 20s when they had the kids, maybe. I don't know, man. Either rushed into marriage or didn't try hard enough to keep it together. Ooh. But yeah, I'm judging before we even got to the story. Let's carry on.
Right. My ex-wife remarried 2 years ago, and her husband brought his daughter and son into the marriage. About 5 months after they got married, my ex-husband sent me a list of foods I could not feed my kids because his daughter is allergic, and whenever my boys are at their house, his daughter struggles with her allergies. He said he heard it from my kids' mouths that they eat those things when they're with me. He said anyone coming into their home needs to avoid these foods and that I must cut them from my kids' diet when they're at my house, which was every other week at this time. This includes peanut butter, eggs, cheese, strawberries, and chocolate.
So the fuck is everybody's problems with eggs all of a sudden?
Dairy, I heard.
Yeah, dairy. It's all dairy. And dairy strawberries there. Look at that.
At first, I thought it was a joke, but I got an email from this man the next time my kids went to their mum's house berating me for not complying with his orders. Then my ex-wife tried to sue me for custody or for it to be placed in the court-ordered custody agreement that our boys could not eat those things. She lost the case on both counts. The judge told them that they could not decide on what I feed my kids.
Can you show and have me just figure out the dynamics here? So this is my ex-wife. So we're talking from the bloke's perspective. The ex-husband has put this post up, right?
Yeah.
So the ex-husband has the kids.
Yeah. Well, has the kids every other weekend at this point.
Right. So he's like part-time dad. The kids come and visit every other weekend.
Yeah. Every other week at this time.
Right. Okay, carry on. Sorry, just wanted to make sure that I knew what was
And
going
his
on there.
ex-wife's new husband is saying that the children can't eat these foods when they're round visiting him because of his children.
But they're not there.
No, they're not there. Let's get to the end of the story.
Let's go.
It will
Yeah.
make a bit more sense. Okay. So for the past year, my ex has not taken her parenting time with our kids. Her husband is not okay with them being there if they've eaten those things at my house. He said his daughter could die, and even if it's not that bad, she should not be made uncomfortable because a grown man child with a petty grudge would not comply with keeping a child safe out of spite for the new father in his kids' lives.
Sounds like the other guy is a grown man child with a petty grudge here, just because this guy was smashing your wife before you were. Cockhead. Sorry.
My ex blames me for her not being a mom to our kids. She told me all I needed to do was follow the list, that everyone has to, and that she's already had some family members refuse.
It's ridiculous. We'll get to the end of the story. I'm going to hold it in.
Hold it. Our boys miss their mom, but not their mom's house. I have tried to plan for them to see each other, but she won't lead or drive here. She doesn't want to see them if they're not in her house for her custody time. They're not welcome while they eat those foods, and I'm not depriving them of that stuff because this man orders me to. I have my boys in my custody because of this madness. My ex didn't handle that too well, and she told me I'm being a dick and alienating the kids from her. She told me to follow the rules and let the boys have both of us. I just want to see what others outside of the equation will think. I have support from others, but these are people who just know me. Am I the asshole?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's absolutely ridiculous, and the kids are living with the dad now, aren't they? He says he's got custody, so it's not. Oh man, it's a tough one for sure because you don't want to alienate kids from parents.
That's it. But the judge has said that his children don't, they can eat those foods. So the mom, the
judge has said,
yes,
it's been to court.
Yes, but the mom's husband is saying, well, if they're going to continue to eat the foods at your house, then I'm not having it.
I would say, bitch needs to mind her business, man. As long as the kids are going to your house and are not being put at any risk, then she has nothing to say. Your time with your children is between you and them. You know what I mean? And her just trying to dictate ridiculous rules like, oh, you can't eat peanut butter, eggs, cheese, and strawberries, or chocolate. Or chocolate? Kids can't eat chocolate? Are you on crack, woman? It's just not going to happen, man. This woman, she's overstepping the line here. It's like you don't go out in public and ask everybody in public, oh, don't eat any fucking peanut butter in case you come in contact with my child. It's not as if they're dripping peanut butter from their face or eggs from their face when they get home after seeing their dad, are they?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's not like they've got some dripping from their mouth and it lands on the kid who's allergic to it. It's absolutely ridiculous. You'd have to ask everybody to abide by these rules, not just these two kids. It makes no fucking sense. I think they're throwing their weight around, trying to push a little bit too much power and trying to have control in places where they don't deserve it. So I don't think this guy, to say I don't think this guy is being an asshole is a bit extreme because, the kids are also being withheld from their mother at this point. That's a bit shit. Can't really do that.
But that's also on the mom. She refuses to come out and meet them anywhere. She wants them in her house, but only if he won't feed them these foods. She's also being an asshole.
Yeah, she's definitely being an asshole. But this guy is also being partly an asshole. You got to accept responsibility on both sides. But the woman is the mom in this situation here is definitely being an asshole, and they're refusing to see the perspective of both sides.
Yeah.
But to just go on like, oh, you can't eat these foods because my kid is allergic to it. It's like I won't feed it to your kid.
Yeah, I won't send them back to yours.
Don't send your kid to my house and she won't have to be in contact with any of these foods she's allegedly allergic to. I tell you what, I bet this new husband, this woman's got, I bet he fucking got a nice bicycle and he wears some lycra and he fucking rides around the country roads in the middle of the fucking lane. But he's one of them guys.
This top comment.
Very aerodynamic.
13,000 upvotes here.
Oof.
Is the daughter licking your sons?
Not me.
Does the dad think they sweat allergens?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see how there can be any cross-contamination unless your kids go over with cheeks full of contraband like chipmunks. How do they handle her going to school? Exactly.
Yeah,
like you said, you can't go out into public.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure they don't take allergens over is one thing. Trying to control what your sons can eat when they are not there is insane.
Yes, I agree with that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, this is weird. Unless the boys are super messy when they eat and are covered in cheese and chocolate, just being in the same household should not be an issue. Mm-hmm. Make sure they bathe and change clothes when coming to mom's house. The girl should be fine. this smacks like some stupid power play that backfired.
Yep.
Or maybe it worked as intended by keeping the boys away from stepdad and his kids.
Yeah, very true. Yeah.
Oh, look, this one sounds like the new husband has a method for getting rid of other people's kids in a relationship, and it works.
Yep. Yep.
Sadly, many don't realize that someone can be that manipulative.
Yeah.
That's also true. Overlooked that one.
Wow. Yeah. Some interesting comments there.
Yes.
Yeah. So very interesting. But yeah, you're not being the asshole, man. And fair play to you for taking your kids on as well and not fucking playing these silly games. You know what I mean? It's good that the kids know that they have a place with mom and dad and both parents are supportive. It's so easy for blokes to just be like, oh, fuck it, we're divorced now. I'm gone. And they leave and they barely see the kids. So fair play for sticking in it and you know, keeping there and supporting your kids. It's an important thing for the kids to have both parents in their lives. But damn, silly games, man. Silly games get played and the kids end up as being used as weapons. And it's absolutely disgusting when this shit happens, in my opinion. What does the judge think? What do you think?
Yeah, it's sad for the kids, isn't it? It's, they need both parents.
Some bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is what happens a lot, isn't it? When people get divorced and they get a new marriage and, you know, the next partners just, they want to try and, I don't know, have some kind of power, man. Because they're not in the same kind of emotional relationship. It's not their kids.
Yeah.
They don't care in the same way as both of these parents. These parents are separated, but they still both care for their kids. Yeah. But the new guy, he doesn't care for them in the same way. He doesn't give a shit.
And so the children will end up feeling that the parents, the mom especially, doesn't care if she's not willing to meet them, and now they can't see her, and they're just going to feel like she picked this man over them and his kids over them.
Wow.
And they'll end up resenting her.
Do better.
Yes.
Do better. You know, I would suggest just telling this new husband, but the woman won't do it. But, you know, to tell this new husband, stay out of my fucking business. This is none of your business. I will control what happens between my ex-husband and our children. And you just best stay out of it for now, because obviously you're judging silly things with too much emotion and just trying to play power games to win ego or some shit, and that's just not best for the kids. So take the man out of the situation, and you and your ex-wife make the decision of what should be happening and try and come to some kind of conclusion.
And good luck.
Good luck.
You're going to need it.
Good luck. You know what I mean? But I'd be bringing the kids around, feeding them fucking Reese's Pieces, these scrambled eggs. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that shit. We eat what we want. We eat what we want. You know what I mean? The kids probably love going to dad's house because they can have some actual food. Gosh.
Not good.
Yeah, ridiculous. Anyway, is that the last one?
That's the last one for today.
Wow. That was long. How long did it go for? Have to do a proper outro. How'd you do a proper outro?
No idea. We say thanks for joining us.
No, of course. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed these stories. You can find these stories over on the subreddit, the r/AITAH. That's how we say it here in the UK, because we say it properly. But you can visit our subreddit. We don't have many followers over there right now because, you know, it's all new. This is the first episode. This is a pilot episode, so we don't have many members. We have 2 members, in fact, over on the A Hole Audit. So come and join us and drop your stories over there. Let us know what you think about the episode. Let us know what you think about our takes on specific things. Are we being the asshole? Let us know. Let us know if the tables have turned. But we want to know your perspective on all of this. And if you have heard this podcast, then it means we've released the pilot episode. Let us know what you think. Let us know what we can do to improve the episodes for future episodes.
Keep on being assholes so we can keep on making podcasts.
That's right. There's nothing wrong with being an asshole. Anyway, is that it?
Yep.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
Thanks for joining us.
Don't forget to follow us on Reddit and X. And we have a Facebook page as well. Just search for the A Hole Audit. Don't click on Google Images. We just stay on the on the normal Google and follow our pages. All right. Peace.